Tell you what, this is exciting. This is new. You're on this journey with me. And who knows what this could lead to one day. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's something. I don't know. But I have wanted to start this podcast. I've wanted to start really just a conversation that I don't think are all too unique. These are things that go on in my mind. These are things I think about when I'm working out. If I'm sitting on the couch just in a moment of quiet, driving to and from work, we all have these thoughts. So I thought, what better time than the present to put these thoughts on video and share them with people? Because again, I know they're not unique. We all kind of have some version of these thoughts. So I'm going to call this podcast My Inner Dialogue. That means a lot to me. Again, because I think these conversations are so powerful. And unfortunately, they're powerful, or I should say they can be just as destructive as they can be powerful. And my past, unfortunately, my inner dialogue has leaned more towards the destructive side than the beneficial, gonna launch you forward, make you successful side. So it's something that I've had to come to grips with. I've had to admit those things and just try to get better. So I want to tell you a quick story because this came to my mind the other day when I was running. I am currently training for a 50-mile, which is kind of technically an ultra marathon trail run in North Georgia through the mountains with one of my really good friends. So I wake up in the morning and I'm trying to get my runs in. And after you get through, I'm tired, my calves hurt, my knees hurt, I don't want to be doing this. Why am I doing this? I think that runner's flow is where you just start to have this inner dialogue with yourself and you start having these conversations, and sometimes they can be really, really powerful. The most recent run that I went on, I remembered a time, and this is what sparked it. I'm running, I'm coming through this trail, and I'm about to go up and over a bridge. And as I'm coming around the corner, I can see the bridge, probably half a mile away. I see a group of runners that are just getting on the bridge. And I know the way that they're going, there's the end of the trail that's maybe like 0.87 miles away. And my mind immediately went to, I'm going to pass those people. So I start picking up the pace and I'm going. And I kind of chuckled to myself in that moment because I've had a flashback to when my sister and I were growing up. My sister's older than me. She's the oldest of four. I'm the youngest of four. And if you remember the movie Seabiscuit, I love that movie. And my sister growing up, whenever she would take me to sports games or be there, she would start to say after this movie, Kale, be the biscuit. Be the biscuit. Now, what did she mean by that? If you remember Seabiscuit, it's a little horse, undersized, and was kind of a training horse that was designed or trained to lose. So as he would get closer to the horse that they really cared about, Seabiscuit would the rider would hold him up and let that horse win, designed to build that other horse's confidence by getting a win, beating another horse. So you can imagine the impact that it has on this horse. And that's kind of what makes me laugh in all this is how does an animal like a horse exhibit human characteristics like frustration or being competitive? And that's what I want to talk about today. Is competitiveness, is that a good thing or is that a detrimental thing? Right off the cuff, it's easy to say, well, of course it's a good thing. And by the way, I believe that it's a good thing. I believe that it's very, very good quality to be competitive. I'm the father of four. I want my kids to be very, very competitive. But I could also just as easily make an argument that it's probably not a very good trait. And it could become something, if not checked, could become a destructive personality trait. But I want to talk about it, of course, in the positive. So Seabiscuit is that horse that was ultra competitive, hated losing. So by the time he finds the right owner, the right rider, and they let him just go, the secret was get him right up close to that other horse that he had to beat, let him look that horse in the eye, and there's no way the Seabiscuit was ever going to lose. And he's famous for that, right? Are you competitive? Do you have that mentality of, man, if I get right on somebody and I look him in the eye, then there's no way that I'm going to lose? I think so much of us love sports. And of course, my whole shtick is sports. I played professional baseball. I love sports. I love any sport. I love the competitive nature. In any sport whatsoever, there are a person or two, and sometimes if we're lucky, there's a group of people in a particular sport that will all kind of rise and ascend at the same time, and you get to watch this incredible back and forth of being competitive and wanting to be number one. And I'm not a huge tennis fan, so forgive me if I get the names wrong, but Rafael Nadal, you've got the Joker, Djokovic, and then Uh, oh man, I'm forgetting like the most popular one, the Swiss guy, Roger Federer, all existed in the same time. If they existed in any different period, they would be unanimously like, these are the best tennis players of all time. And we got to watch three of them battle it out all the time. Who was going to be number one? And the competitive show was something to watch and something to admire. Even though I'm not a tennis fan, I can respect that. Watching Tom Brady go to work, watching Michael Jordan and then Kobe Bryant, watching Derek Jeter in baseball, just super, super competitive people who had to win. Wasn't about the fame, wasn't about the money, was nothing else other than I just want to be my best. And there's no way that the person on the other side of the court or the field or whatever was going to beat me. I love that mentality. And I do think that I've got a competitive gene because, again, I come around the corner, I see this group of people, and the first thought is, I'm not losing to them. I'm going to beat them. Now, here are the funny consequences of that, okay? Because as I got closer to this group, I realized, one, got a lot of gray hair. There's a lot of older people in that group. I couldn't see that being about half a mile away. I just saw bodies and thought I'm going to beat them. Kind of had a little chuckle to myself that not a great accomplishment. I did catch all of them, but not a great accomplishment because these people are older in their years. So that made me laugh. Then came the thought of, man, I caught them. And now I'm probably about a mile, maybe a mile and a half from my end destination, which was my house. I've held this pace now for almost a full mile. My legs hurt, that my lugs are burning. I've completely given up what I originally started out. My original plan was just have a nice, easy run, maintain the zone 2, if you know what that is, and just keep going. I abandoned it once I saw those people, and now I just have to win. So do I maintain the pace, or do I slow down now that I've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish? I caught them. My competitiveness, check the box. I gave it a Snickers and chill out. You're good. We beat the older people. You're a hero. Then that competitive nature now kicks in because now it's no longer about if I caught that group. Now it's just me. It's my competitive nature. I held this pace. Can I hold it on till the end? Yeah, I'm a little bit tired. Yeah, I'm a little bit fatigued. But I'm not totally tired. I'm not totally fatigued. I don't have to stop going. Can I keep going? And I did. And by the time the reward is, what's the reward? The reward is by the time I hit end on my watch and my phone and I stop my run, I look back and it's like, hey, congratulations, you've got your fastest time of 2026. I feel like my threshold of what I could accomplish and what I could achieve was now pushed to a higher limit because inevitably I'm going to get to another run or whatever in life, and it's going to be familiar territory. My legs are tired, the lungs are kind of burning, but I know I can keep going. I know I can push through that. Now, if you look at it from a business perspective, I'm in real estate, of course, and if you're watching this, I sent this to you, then you're in real estate. How does that competitiveness help you out? I think it helps a ton, and I think it really is what separates those who have a real estate license and those who are actually running a business, and those who are working for a legacy, and those who just simply want more. It's not necessarily because I want more money so I can buy more things. Yeah, that's cool, and I'm all for that. But it's the competitive nature to prove to yourself that you can do something that, one, is hard, two, is a challenge, three, there are other people out here, and I want to just be my best. And then number four is it's just checking that box. It's that personal validation that the hard work was worth it. I achieved something that maybe when I set out, I wasn't quite sure if I could accomplish it. That idea is what fascinates me. Can you accomplish something? Can you be committed to that process of the accomplishment? Because that's where the real hard work is done. That's where it's quiet. It's all by yourself. There's no one there to cheer you on. There's no one there to give you words of encouragement. It's just you, something that's hard, and all the excuses that your mind will find as to why you should stop, as to why you should quit, why you should mail it in, right? Most people, I think, are very, very good salesmen. They don't know it. They don't believe that. But think about how many times you convince yourself that you need something or you should stop or you should do something. You convince yourself every single day. So in fact, we are really, really good salesmen, persons, people, women. You can convince yourself to do whatever you want to do. The competitive gene, is what will push you through and tell that inner voice, that inner dialogue to go away. We're not going to stop. We're going to keep on going. We're going to see this through and we're going to make it. I love that thought. I love that process. And I think that's where the competitiveness helps me in my own personal journey to become something and be something better every single day is I love that process. I love that refiner's fire. I love just proving to myself that I'm a little bit tougher than I probably thought I was. And I can do this. There are so many other thoughts that I have about this internal dialogue on competitiveness. And I'll be honest, podcasts are tough because at this moment, I'm totally blanking. I'm just losing thought of where I wanted to go with it. But I think that's it. Can you be the biscuit? My challenge to you is whatever you're doing in life, if you want to become the best spouse, the best parent, the best partner, the best version of yourself, the best businessman or woman, if you want to be the best brother, sister, daughter, whatever it is, be the biscuit. There's this version of you that's always parallel and it's always looking you in the eye. And you come near it, as you get eye to eye with it, can you tell that version in the past, you're not going to win today? And I'm going to win. I will overcome and I will prevail. That's how competitiveness can push you forward. And that's exactly why I want my kids to be competitive. It's not about being better than somebody else. And I just remembered what I wanted to say. It's that right there. How many times, and you got to be honest with yourself, okay? This is a place where we have to be completely honest. How many times are we only worried about being better than somebody else? I take comfort in knowing that, well, this person's doing X, Y, Z. I'm a little bit better than that person. So somehow we give ourselves a pass because we're better than somebody else. What a freaking shame to fall back on that as your reasoning for letting your foot off the gas or being complacent or being comfortable because we're better than somebody else. Better, my uncle used to say this, better is the enemy of best. You're not trying to be better than somebody else. You're trying to become your very best version. And that's the positivity of being competitive. Does it drive you to become your very best? It doesn't drive you to become the wealthiest or the richest or whatever, better than somebody. It drives you for you to become the best version of yourself. That's life. That's familial relationships. That's business relationships. Everybody benefits when you show up and you are your best version of yourself. I promise you that. The world's a better place. We need you. The world needs me to become the best version of myself and the best version of yourself. So drive that competitiveness home. Find your edge. Find your passion. Find what fuels you. Find whatever it is that checks that box and kind of ignites and sparks that competitive nature in you, and hold on to that thought, hold on to that goal, hold on to the dream, hold on to the version of who you want to become. Gary Keller says all the time, you're 5 years away of becoming the version of yourself that you want to be. You could be anything in 5 years. I have tracked my life by 5 years because I heard that about 13 years ago. And it's holding true. I turned 40 last year. There's a spot that I want to be when I'm 45. And I will absolutely get there. Nothing will hold me back from being where I want to be when I'm 45. I'm going to be 45 regardless. So I might as well be walking into that 45th year of life, the version of myself that I saw at age 40. And that's a challenge. Who do you want to be in 5 years? Hold on to that thought and show up 5 years from now and be that version. That's my inner dialogue for today. Go kill it.